Here we are on a beautiful morning of May the 13th, 2020, headed out from the Decatur County Airport in Bainbridge, Georgia, to a field about 5 or 6 miles northwest of the airport there, to the Green Circle Farms, where it's the largest field of sweet corn on east of the Mississippi. It also has the longest pivot there for irrigation. It's 22 sections long. It's a beautiful morning here right at sunrise, and Brandon and I had been out to the field to spent Monday and Tuesday putting a brand new corn harvester, sweet corn harvester, into the field for Greg and Gregory Calhoun. And it's a beautiful field. It's a gorgeous morning. It was a beautiful morning to fly. It was a little cool, but really a neat morning to fly. And this was a great perspective. The first little trip that I'd ever done like this. So kind of experimenting with how I'm going to hold the camera. The camera that I'm using in this shot is mounted to my left wrist. And there in the earlier shot, there's another camera mounted on the strut on the wing. And so this, you can see the strip where the corn harvester, the mechanical harvester, has been picking that morning. And the other two machines you can see in the field left or right there are what they call mule trains, which are manually harvested. There's 25 to 28 laborers on those machines picking corn. They pick about 18 rows at a time with those things, but they move extremely slow through the field. And our estimation there, after spending a couple of days in the field with this thing, that this one harvester picks 4 rows at a time, but it moves to the field at about 4 miles an hour. And it's very efficient, and is going to be able to probably pick about as much as those 2 mule trains will do at the same time. So it's a really neat. Again, this is a gorgeous field and a gorgeous morning, and this was a lot of fun. It was a pleasure to get to work with Gregory and his family, the Calhouns there, and get the machine in the field for them. They were happy with the machine and doing a good job. I flew over several different passes here, and some I took out in slow motion, and where you can see. And the longer I flew, the more brave I got. So it got a little bit lower down as we went through the morning. Look at that beautiful sunrise, over that field. It's amazing. It was a great morning. So I'll talk periodically through the video and kind of narrate a little bit of what you can see. You can see that long pivot. It was spraying on the other side of the field that morning. The field's like 3,000, over half a mile long altogether. It's incredible. Shots of the machine picking through the field, all different kinds of angles, really just having fun with the machine and with the plane. I flew for about an hour over the field until the cameras, the batteries on the cameras died, and there wasn't any more need to fly. But the longer I flew, the more brave I got, and ended up kind of flying a lot like a crop duster maybe. there was a big crop duster at the field when I got there that morning over on the other side, and had fun talking with him on the radio. So this is my first time editing video, and I'm getting better at it, learn more about it. It's a lot of fun. This was kind of half work and half fun that morning. The machine that is the first sweet corn harvester we've sold in quite a while, especially the new 2475. And I was privileged to get to go with Brandon, our technician, to put the thing in the field and get it all tuned up and ready to go, and picking corn. And it's beautiful corn, and I brought 8 boxes of corn back home myself and put it up, and out of that field. It was gorgeous. It was so good. Corn was so good. First day there, they loaded 16 tractor trailer loads out between the mechanical harvester, the Oxbow harvester, and the 2 mule trains. So there's quite a bit of corn left out of that field that day. This field across the dirt road there is his as well. And so I just kind of flew over the whole thing. A lot of folks don't have any idea where their food comes from. They just go to the grocery store and there it is, but they don't realize, it's hard to understand just how much work really goes into producing the food that we consume in this country, and the farmers that do such hard work. Noticed as well as I did, but how straight these rows are. It's incredibly straight, and these are planted with John Deere tractor with their GPS controlled steering on the tractors. They just kind of get them started down the row and then turn the GPS on, and the tractor is steered by the GPS, and that's what keeps these rows so straight. And as a matter of fact, John Deere integrated that same technology into the Oxbow corn harvester, and the operator then can sit there in the seat and really pays closer attention to the operation of the head, the speed of the belts and the knives and all those kinds of things that make the head work, so he can it's constantly being adjusted for the conditions in the field. But the machine, he doesn't have to worry about steering the machine or driving the machine. He can concentrate on the operation of the head and all the things that go on with that. So that's a crazy amount of technology that goes into this thing, and how that's a lot of that stuff is what's changed in the past few years. become more and more difficult to attain and to deal with, and all that kind of thing. You're going to see more of a move to mechanical harvesting, machinery harvesting on certain vegetables that in the past hadn't really been viable to do that with, or had the technology wasn't there to harvest the corn, for example, and not damage the corn. So this machine actually will damage the corn, the kernels of the corn underneath the husk, no more, and in many cases less than the hand pulling of the corn. So there's going to be quite a bit of corn that'll be bought and eaten from the grocery stores and in the eastern part of the United States this summer that was harvested with this machine. And that's a pretty neat thing. I brought some home and put it up myself and had it for dinner, and it was so good, and there was no damage to the corn. The ears were in really good shape. So it's a pretty simple but mechanical part of this thing is fairly simple. It just took a while to figure it out to get it where it didn't damage the corn. And now it's a very productive machine, and as they've been working with the machine now for over a week and have had really good success with it. There's a little shot of our service truck that was down there, and look at that field of corn. It's amazing. There's a brave low pass. He's getting backing away from the corn, going to dump into the buggy there that takes it to the tractor trailer. And then it's about a 10 or 15 minute drive, 12-15 minute drive from the field back to their packing house. And from the time that corn is harvested till it's put in a cooler is less than an hour. It'll go through a hydro cooler and put into giant, huge coolers, big building. It's just basically one giant cooler. And the key to good sweet corn is getting it from the field and into a cooler and cooled down really rapidly. And that keeps the sweetness of the corn and preserves it. They don't do anything else to preserve it other than to chill it. And so it goes from there that night. After this was harvested, it was loaded out that evening on tractor trailers, and it's on its way to supermarkets all over the eastern half of the United States. Pretty amazing. Pretty amazing. Here, looks like we got about 40 seconds or so left. I'd really like to thank Greg Calhoun and Gregory Calhoun for allowing us to come and take the videos of the machine that they bought and their beautiful farm at Green Circle Farms and their sweet corn operation. Coming back down for one last picture of machine getting ready to dump, looks like, and after this little slow-mo, I'm headed off back to the Bainbridge Airport, and we'll do another one day. Thanks for joining me. Glad you came.